Imagine walking in the forest and seeing the ground moving as if it were alive. It would be enough to scare anyone. This eerie sight was captured on video in Quebec, Canada in 2018, and it quickly went viral online. Despite its frightening appearance, there is a simple explanation for the breathing forest in Quebec. It's not due to sleeping giants or creepy forest spirits. Instead, it's a meteorological phenomenon that happens during strong winds. The forest floor is covered in moss and has a complex root system that wraps around the roots of younger trees. When the soil is soft and the wind is strong, the roots lift, creating the unusual scene that makes it look like the earth is breathing. One night in November 2015, residents around the San Francisco Bay Area reported mysterious lights in the sky, moving in seemingly impossible ways. This sparked a frenzy of UFO sightings. Things escalated when a local woman found something strange in the nearby woods and shared a picture online. She said she heard it scream and saw it deflate before becoming lifeless. Despite denying it was an alien, experts struggled to identify what it was. A reasonable explanation emerged. The lights were test launches of Trident nuclear missiles accompanied by loud explosions. The strange discovery in the woods was likely the fetus of a deer or cow, whose mother miscarried due to the shock of the lights and sounds. Near Harper's Crossroads in Bear Creek, North Carolina, there's a camping spot known as the Devil's Tramping Ground. It's a legendary place where nothing grows in a 40-foot wide circle. According to local stories, this barren ring has been empty for over a century because it's where the devil walks at night, planning his evil deeds. Objects left in the ring often disappear by morning, and pets refuse to go near it. Those brave enough to camp there report hearing strange noises and having frightening experiences, making it one of the creepiest places in the US. Despite this, people still visit to see if the stories are true. Would you be brave enough to stay there? I wouldn't. A few years ago, an image began circulating online of a small abandoned hut in the woods, almost overtaken by nature. Someone had spray-painted "Free Hugs" with an arrow pointing to the door, making it one of the creepiest sights you could find in the forest. Initially thought to be a hoax, more images surfaced proving its existence. Located in an unidentified forest in Wisconsin, possibly near Plum City, it's the kind of thing that would make you run the other way if you saw it. While there are photos of the outside, no one seems brave enough to go inside for the promised hugs. What's in there remains a mystery. Do you think it's a well-placed joke, or is there something more sinister at play? In Storrs Mill Woods near Barnsley, England, you'll find a surprising sight among the rocks and cliffs, the Dudworth stone faces. These carvings, known locally, can give you the feeling of being watched as you stroll through the woods. Stories abound about their origins. Some say druids left them thousands of years ago to protect a spiritual pathway. Others credit monks or Viking warriors. However, the truth is less mysterious. The faces were actually carved recently by two local artists, Melvin Dickinson and Billy Johnson. Despite knowing their modern origin, stumbling upon these faces in the woods can still be a surreal and slightly eerie experience. South of central Mexico City lies a network of waterways with small tree-covered islands. One of these islands stands out as perhaps the creepiest wooded area you could visit, the Island of the Dolls. Named in the 1950s, it started when dolls began appearing all over the island. Over the years, more have been added continuously. Local legend says the previous owner began placing dolls around the island after he saw a young girl drown and believed he heard her asking for her doll. Terrified, he hung up the doll he found nearby, starting the tradition. Now, hundreds of dolls are scattered there, some covered in cobwebs and insects, falling apart over decades. Adding to the mystery, the man who started the tradition died on the island, reportedly in the same spot where he found the girl. Since then, the island has become a popular tourist destination, with thousands visiting by boat. Despite knowing the story, visitors often feel chills as they realize how truly eerie the island is. In 2009, a dog walker in Prospect Park, Brooklyn, came across a disturbing scene. Nailed to some of the trees were fleshy-looking organs that were later identified as cow tongues. These tongues, likely from a butcher shop, were hanging about 6 feet off the ground on 15 different tree trunks. It's believed that this strange practice might be linked to cult or fringe religious rituals. The tongues could have been nailed to the trees as a message to the living. The use of tongues might symbolize an attempt to silence someone, possibly as a kind of defensive prayer to stop gossip, harmful rumors, or testimony in court. This wasn't the first time cow tongues have been found nailed to trees. Over the years, there have been several other incidents where walkers in the woods stumbled upon this eerie practice. Trail cameras are commonly used by hunters and wildlife enthusiasts to track animals in the forest. However, in 2019, a man in Harlan County was severely injured while trying to insert batteries into a trail cam. The camera had been booby-trapped by a local man, Mark Sawaf, to explode when the batteries were inserted. The explosion caused the man to lose multiple fingers and suffer chest injuries. Authorities soon arrested 39-year-old Sawaf after linking him to the devices. They found explosives, wires, and other materials matching the detonated device in his trash and home, along with a note saying, "Broken camera for a broken soul." Sawaf admitted he had planned to leave the booby-trapped camera, hoping someone would steal it. Despite not owning the property where the explosives were found, Sawaf had previously been confronted by the property owners for trespassing. When he agreed to lead officials to the remaining devices hidden in the woods, he attempted to escape and was shot dead by a Lexington fire investigator captain. Authorities later discovered 12 more deadly devices in the woods. In England's Haldon Forest, Devon, visitors might be surprised to find several grave markers among the moss. This eerie spot is the unofficial resting place of hundreds of beloved pets, ranging from hamsters to horses and even a boa constrictor snake. The origin of this sad and haunting site is unknown, but for many years, gravestones and burial markers have appeared regularly, puzzling Forestry Commission rangers. The burial site gained public attention in 2001 when the Forestry Commission fenced it off, fearing pollution to nearby rivers. They also banned further animal burials. However, despite the ban, new graves have continued to appear over the past 20 years, and fresh flowers are regularly added. Adding to the mystery, Howden Forest was visited by big cat experts in 1998 to investigate sightings of a black puma. There was a belief that the creature might have been feeding on animals buried in the pet cemetery. In the woods of northern Germany, there is a mysterious place with pipes sticking out of the ground that look like periscopes. This area is well known to locals and is a popular spot for children to play. However, the strange pipes led two friends to investigate further, with creepy results. The friends found an entrance to an underground bunker and pried open the wooden door with a crowbar. It was clear that others had been there before because there was a plastic bag and other litter on the ground. Inside, they found endless hallways that looked like an underground hospital. At the end of the main hallway was a water-filled hall. The graffiti on some of the walls was chilling. One message read, "Help," and another said, "Hello, Satan, I love you." The corridors smelled terrible, and some of the side hallways were flooded. The friends also found a strange old machine, a glove, a submarine hatch, and an old shoe. They took many photos and later shared them online. However, once the photos were leaked, authorities quickly moved to block up the entrance. Woodlands are incredibly diverse ecosystems, teeming with plant and animal life that make them seem almost alive. There's a rare phenomenon that might make you believe the forest floor is breathing beneath your feet. It's something you have to see to believe, but there's plenty of footage capturing it in action. Imagine the forest floor rising and falling as if a giant creature is snoring below. This bizarre movement is caused by high wind speeds. When strong winds sway the trees, their extensive network of roots beneath the soil moves too. In loose soil, this can make the entire forest floor, including rocks and debris, undulate in a mesmerizing way. It's a fascinating display of nature's power and adaptation. In December 2012, a hiker near Davenport, Santa Cruz, California, noticed a carved stone protruding from the ground in a woodland area. He had seen it over a decade earlier, but decided to investigate this time. It turned out to be a headstone. He alerted the local Museum of Art and History about the discovery. The story behind the headstone adds a creepy dimension. It belonged to Mary Holmes, a local prostitute from the late 19th century. Known in the community, she tragically took her own life in 1897 by drinking carbolic acid outside a saloon, witnessed by many. She was buried at Evergreen Cemetery, where she was mourned by the community with numerous floral tributes. Over time, the cemetery fell into disrepair and many headstones, including Mary Holmes, disappeared. The mystery remains. Who moved her headstone to the woods near the highway, and why? It's a question that may never be answered. In March 2019, David Kuroda, his wife, their daughter, and some of her friends were exploring the woods behind their home in Bergen County, New Jersey, near a major highway. Suddenly, they noticed some fabric in the undergrowth and discovered a pile of clothes. When they picked them up, they dropped them quickly after realizing something unusual. The jeans, bra, t-shirt, and underwear were cut in a way that suggested they had been forcibly removed. There were also signs of what looked like blood stains. They called the authorities immediately, fearing for the owner of the clothes. To this day, no answers have been found. The police couldn't link the clothes to any missing persons or crimes, so they weren't sent for testing. Some people suggested that paramedics might have cut the clothes to treat someone, which is why they were neatly piled. However, medics usually clean up after themselves. It remains a mystery, making residents more cautious near the woods. In the town of Kursong in West Bengal, the Dowhill Victoria Boys School is famous for being one of the most haunted places in India, with many stories of unexplained footsteps echoing through its halls. But there's an even scarier story about the woods that surround the school. These mist-filled woods are rumored to be the site of several murders and are said to be haunted by a headless boy who wanders among the trees and along a path known as Death Road. People who venture into the forest often feel like they are being watched, and some have reported seeing a ghostly figure in an ash-colored dress. In April 2021, a resident of Fairbanks, Alaska, thought they had found discarded trash when they spotted a freezer sticking out of the snow in a local wood. When they opened it, they were shocked to find human remains inside. The troopers who investigated confirmed that the remains belonged to a 67-year-old woman from Anchorage who had been missing for over a year. Clearly a homicide, details of the case have not been fully released. With little evidence to identify a perpetrator, it has already been classified as a cold case. The jungles and forests of South and Central America hide many historic artifacts from ancient civilizations. These are often found by archaeologists on expeditions or by accident. In 2018, a stone tablet was discovered near the Guatemalan border with Mexico. It was so old that tree roots had grown around it, and it took researchers almost a year to remove it. The tablet, a 1,500-year-old Mayan altar, had carvings of the previously unknown King Chatuc and a double-headed serpent. Although it looked clean after being removed, this altar was used for human sacrifices. Hundreds of people may have lost their lives on this stone. It was a remarkable find, but also a reminder of the dark rituals performed in ancient times. In Germany, with its history of intense fighting during both world wars, there's a specialized bomb disposal squad called the Explosive Ordnance Disposal Service. They are the busiest in the world, deactivating a bomb every 2 weeks on average. In April 2021, they were called to a forest near Passau on the Austrian border after a jogger found a transparent bag with what looked like a hand grenade. The bomb disposal officers approached cautiously, but soon discovered that the grenade was actually made of soft rubber. The bag also contained a bottle of lubricant and a pack of condoms. Instead of war games, it seemed someone had been having a different kind of fun. Why they left their items there is unclear, but it was certainly easier than figuring out how to recycle them. Since 2003, residents of Mules, a small town in Switzerland, were frightened by a mysterious figure seen lurking in the Fribourg forest. This figure, known as the Liloyen, was described as about 6'2", wearing a military uniform and a gas mask. He was reportedly seen walking the same route every day for over a decade, but there was no photographic evidence of his existence until 2013, when a local news website published the first known photo of him. Many people were skeptical, but for the locals who lived near the woods, the Liloyen was very real. Those who encountered him all described his appearance and height the same way. Although he seemed harmless, families were still afraid to go near the forest. When the photo was published, the police got involved, thinking he might be mentally ill or homeless. Others believed he was a ghost of a soldier, a cryptid, or an alien. The last reported sighting was in November 2013, when a woman saw him in the forest picking flowers. Later, it was reported that the Liloyen might have taken his own life after his clothes were found in the woods with a cryptic note saying, "The risk of a hunt for the beast." However, this remains unconfirmed, and it is unclear if the Liloyen is truly dead or just in hiding.